There there comes a lot to that, of that believing that you can win and expecting to win, and they've won in different situations, and they've put themselves, they could even have a better record than they currently have. They've won different ways, and you even just look last week's game. They fall down behind, they fight, they battle, they claw back, and they find a way to win. And there's a lot to be said for that, and that doesn't show up. Your kind of mental toughness and ability to win doesn't show up on a stat line.
And now that it's official that Barry Odom will be coaching the team on Saturday, just your thoughts about going up against him, having matched up in the East a couple years now.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Barry. I think he did it. I think he's a great coach. Did a good job as head coach as well. So I also think for him, though, when you've been a head coach, he's got a certain experience. That it's. They know with the program. I think that you can start to see the identity that Sam's trying to form within that team, and the attitude of the team, and what the identity of the program wants to be, and their toughness, and how they're playing hard. So I think Barry's just going to continue that message, and having been a head coach before, has the experience to be able to do that. It's not like this is his first time ever acting as head coach on a sideline. The program kind of sees their identity, and he's going to be experienced enough to handle the situation.
Thank you.
Next is Gene Fernetti of Florida Times Union.
Hey Dan, when you look back at the tape of the Georgia game, obviously you weren't pleased with the efficiency in the second half. How much of that was not having Kyle? How much of it was Georgia covering better, and how much of it was, what other element you might want to bring to explain the lack of efficiency that you wanted in the second half?
Yeah, there's only a couple times we missed a couple of reads in the past game. We probably got a little bit more conservative just with how the game was being played out. You're kind of watching how the game is played out. And, there are times when we're up, we're playing a really good defense. And you're sitting there and you're saying, hey, do we want to just, keep attacking down the field, or do we want to try to control the tempo of the game and use ball control in this situation? And so, we're up 3 scores for a good part of the second half. And so you're kind of playing maybe with a little different mentality than you are in the first half, especially when you're playing really good defenses. You have an opportunity to kind of control the game at that point.
Thank you.
Brandon Marcello of 24/7 Sports.
Hey, Dan, I saw a lot of you talking about just, Felipe Franks and how he helped, kind of set the foundation there when you got to Florida with that 10-win season. Outside of just the competitive nature of this game between the two of you wanting to win, how special is it just to see a kid like him to help you rebuild Florida to what it is right now, and then also seeing what he's doing at Arkansas and getting them out of the cellar?
Well, I knew he'd be successful wherever he went. And, when he said, hey, Coach, I'm going to, I'm going to go on. I'm going to move on because I want to make sure that I have the opportunity to start. And I think here you had 2 kind of starting quarterbacks, and one of them wouldn't have the opportunity to play. So a lot of our discussion was make sure you find the best situation for you, so that you can get on the field and play. And I'm really happy for him. It doesn't surprise me. I think people, if you're not around him, he's a competitor. I think he's a really good leader. I think guys respond to him, and, he'll push himself both on and off the field. And I think guys around you respond to that. And you see that, especially at the quarterback position, which is such an important role, he came into a program that they have a new coach and they have one, and a new quarterback, but both of those two came from winning programs. And they brought this kind of mindset of, hey, we know how to win. Just, follow what we're doing, and we know how to win. And you look at it, with the combination of the coaches and having a quarterback, and obviously they have a bunch of talent on the team on both sides of the football. And they you see what's probably changed is the mindset of how they play, and that's why they're having the success. And I know Felipe was probably a major part, with their coaching staff, of changing the mindset of the team.
look at the games on Sunday.
Hey, Dan, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you today?
I'm good. Hey, obviously you're going up against a couple of coordinators that you're familiar with. Not only Barry, but Kendall Browse, who you coached against last year at Florida State. Is that an advantage, disadvantage, or they kind of know you, you know them, or
sure?
Or
I think
both,
you can look at it both. Is hey, we're familiar with them, so that's an advantage to us. They're familiar with us, so that's an advantage to them. So, I don't know that that plays a huge part of it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because you can draw it both ways. Obviously, when you know the people you're playing against, I mean, that when there's a little familiarity, you can say, hey, there's an advantage to some familiarity with people, but that also goes both ways. So I think I think I don't know if that advantage tips one side or the other, but there is an advantage with familiarity.
And do you have to, speaking of familiarity, do you have to change anything up in terms of signals and stuff because Felipe knows all that?
Yeah, I'm sure he's probably shared some information, with them on what we're doing offensively, and trying whatever way possible to gain an advantage in the game. So we're gonna have to really we've discussed that. Excuse me, sorry about that. And have a plan for that.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, have a great day.
This is Bob Holt, the Arkansas Democrat Gazette.
Hey Dan, how you doing? The other day, I guess it was Monday. Sam Pittman said, obviously, Kyle Pitts is a special talent. I think he called him awesome, but he said your other tight ends are pretty good too, and he doesn't think there's a major drop off. What do you think of your tight ends that Pitts can't play? And I guess what's the latest on his situation?
Yeah, well, I think one of the things you saw in the middle of the game last week that he came out at the end, still there in the second quarter of the game, and those guys jumped right in, and I thought did a great job. You get to the point you're not going to compare them to Kyle. I think Kyle's a special, different type of player, and so it's not fair to compare people to him and and the other tight ends to him. But when you look at Kamari and you look at Keon Zipper and you look at the ability they have, obviously, I mean, we have a lot of confidence in them. The team has a lot of confidence in them, and you look at them, and I think they're both very, very, very good players for us. And I think you're able to see that with what they were doing, the production they were able to come into the game and have there starting in the second quarter. And with them in the game, it doesn't change what we're going to do. They, like you said, they can do everything that Kyle can do. Kyle just, maybe does it at a level that is, you kind of shake your head at sometimes. You're like, wow, that was pretty special. He makes those plays that you kind of are like, wow. Even if you cover him, it really doesn't matter. Sometimes he still makes those plays. But the other guys come in, they can do everything that he does, and it's not going to change our offensive scheme.
I know you said Monday Kyle was questionable. That's still his status.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Coach, we'll finish you up with Dennis Dodd of CBS Sports.
Hey, Dan. I just heard anecdotally that a lot of coaches are, enjoying the Zoom thing and recruiting. How does that work out for you? Because next week, on April, they're going to extend the dead period to April 15th.
Well, did they announce that officially yet?
It's going to happen tomorrow.
You have the scoop already. I don't know. Enjoying is the right word. I think finding a way to do it is okay. I think everyone's become efficient at Zoom. But I'm going to tell you, I'm great in the talking to the kids and all of that. The coaches leaving campus. I think maybe the NCAA even looks. Maybe you don't even go on the road recruiting anymore. Because you can do it Zoom. You can talk and have these conversations, and I think this will create a lot of things that people have learned better ways to do things. And But it's hard for me in a Zoom presentation to show what standing in the middle of the swamp is like, what being in Florida. You're down here in Florida in November, December, January, February, and 75 degrees with sunshine and palm trees. You don't get that on a Zoom call. Getting to walk around the actual beauty of our campus and one of the best one of the most prettiest campuses in the nation. You don't get that in a Zoom call. Now, I think can we learn a lot, and that you could say, hey, boy, I wonder if the future, if they even let the coaches ever on the road again. Why budgetarily does that even make sense? That's an interesting point. But if they do expand it, I do think it's tough to not have the kids come see you here and see the campus environment that they're going to be in. I think we've become efficient and created great presentations to do the best we can. But I don't want to say that makes up for the kids coming to see the campus in person.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Go Gators.